Hey everybody, good Sunday morning, top of the morning to you. Hope you're doing okay. 7:14 as I get ready to do this little post right here. I see a little bit of blue sky up here. The morning's starting to break. Ava's still in there in the bed, sounds asleep. Boom Boom and Gracie's curled up on the sofa. I've got me a cup of coffee here, getting this day started. I love what the old psalmist proclaimed one time in one of his songs. He said, "This is the day the Lord hath made. I will rejoice and be glad in it." So why not? Why not just go ahead and declare this day a good day? You're going to get up, wash your face, anoint your head, walk in light. Yeah, I'm feeling all Sunday morning, ain't I? The morning post on this Sunday, the Lord's Day, January the 11th, 2026. John Lennon famously said, "Everything will be okay in the end, and if it's not okay, it's not the end." Although his end ended tragically that afternoon coming out of the Dakota, every time I walk by that building in New York, I think of his ending. But our North Star has to be that we believe everything will just be okay. We'll be all right somehow, some way. For our country, for our lives, for our children, for our children's children, mixed in with a lot of gratitude as we just travel along, singing our song side by side. Go on, Nadine. Stop now. Um, but our North Star has to believe that we will believe that everything will be okay. Um, his song Imagine tapped into the dreamer in all of us. I know that I'm a dreamer. I always have been, ever since I was a little boy. And I have always just imagined that everyone else is also. It is a warm, almost spring like Sunday morning here in Atlanta. Cold weather's heading back tonight, as it should. It is wintertime. In meeting Miss Kathy and her daughter Jen yesterday at the shop, over almost 2 hours, we talked about a lot of things: life, church. She and her family were Church of God. We talked about the AIDS crisis and the people and the country and the world and what all we went through. Talked about Ryan White, the little fella was in like seventh grade or whatever in Indianapolis, I believe it was, and how he was run out of his community. Fear of a little boy with AIDS. Yeah, Ryan White. At one point, I said our country has gone through a lot of dark times, hasn't it? They talked about going out to meet the monks that are walking for peace, and even brought me a little bracelet from the monks and talk about how it was just a wonderful experience to go and greet them. Most of us will admit that we are living through some dark times in our country. Who protests monks walking for peace? Seriously, y'all. Who shows up to protest monks walking for peace? Are we that messed up and divided as a nation? Good Lord. Maybe I wouldn't call these evil times. Well, maybe I would. These do seem to be evil times, don't they? You know, the recent COVID pandemic we just went through, it didn't really seem to me like evil times. Something about this time here seems evil to me. Maybe I'm wrong, but it just seems evil to me that a big, rich, powerful country would tell other smaller countries, "We want your resources, and because we're more powerful than you, that we deserve them." That seems evil at its core, just evil. But there was something bigger going on for me yesterday as Ava and I sat around in the shop and we talked with these two ladies. We had the front door propped open, and a torrential rain was just coming down so heavy and so hard, just splattering all on the sidewalk. You could smell the rain. It was loud. I was just reminded that this is America. Decent, kind people who love their children, their grandchildren, who love life, who are sweet and kind, who have been through a lot and came through a lot, yet still loves life, still loves people, still loves our country. I asked Kathy at one time, I said, did it bother you turning 70? And she just shook her head and looked startled that I'd even asked a question. And I could see on the expression on her face, we just both busted out laughing like, yeah, she said, you think? I said, well, it still does a little head twister on me. You know, getting old is a head twister. You're like, what? I know I'm not but 37. How in the hell am I 70 years old right now? It just kind of sneaks up on you. Y'all, I feel hopeful this morning that we will get through this as a nation. Maybe I am just a dreamer, but being a dreamer is not a bad thing. Our country went through slavery, the Civil War, the Great Depression. I heard my mama and granny them talking about how going through the Great Depression, how they just would take a little flour and try to get by, feed a bunch of kids just biscuits and gravy every day. We went through World War II, the bombing of Pearl Harbor, the Vietnam War, the Civil Rights Movement, the Edmund Pettus Bridge. We went through 9/11, the AIDS pandemic, the financial crisis of 2008. I knew many people who lost everything. Went through the COVID pandemic. I knew lots of people that died from COVID. You know, the country has had its share of dark times to wander through. I have to believe that the better people will rise up. Better people than Stephen Miller and Donald Trump. And lead us to our better selves. Lest we forget, we are those people. You are those people. Good Sunday morning, sweet people. I am hopeful this morning. This is a time to be bold and to have courage, to know at our core who we are, to not give space to cowardice or fear, yet to walk with our head held high, to walk in light, to be light, to walk in love, to be love. Yeah, even yesterday with the four of us sitting around in the shop, Abe and I and Kathy and Jen, you ever met people where you think, we could just all four get in the car right now and just go on a road trip to Savannah, Georgia or something, and just have the best time, stop somewhere along the way and get a biscuit or Bojangles or something. It's just like sometimes you just meet people and you're just like, yeah, we're just all people. We just all love each other. We're all the same. We're all connected. Yeah. Our children are watching us. We are pouring into them. We are examples whether we want to be or not. Some may say I'm a dreamer, but surely I'm not the only one. Everything will be okay in the end. And if it's not okay, it's not the end. John is no longer with us. He's no longer here, but we are. So it's up to us. Come on, y'all. Let's make the world better. Let's make the country better. Let's make the people around us better. The picture over on my Facebook page. Little's Grocery Store on Carroll Street in Cabbagetown from back in the day. Love y'all.